Bill, welcome to Newspaper Breakdown, 6th of December. Hope we are all still going to hear beeping from outside. I understand that the protest is from Shelter, who are just down the road from me. So support and all of that stuff. They were playing earlier. I fought the war. I fought the law, and the law won, which I don't think is the greatest message for protesters, but what do I know? News stories to get through as always. We'll start with today. Labour, they were going to bring a vote to force the government to publish documents relating to the £200 million of PPE contracts given to the company connected to Tory peer Michelle Mone. This is a PPE Medrose contract was given after the company was flagged to ministers through the VIP lane for government COVID contracts. The VIP lane, everything about it screams dodgy. Every ounce, the millions and millions and millions of pounds that we have wasted. I think we're looking at fucking billions. Fuck the millions, billions of pounds we wasted on contracts with companies that were set up like 2 days ago that just happened to be friends of a Tory MP. To get us all this PPE that we so desperately needed, that we couldn't use most of it because it turns out if you've never done it before, you shouldn't be chucked in at the fucking deep end. Since the contract was given to PPE Medro, Mone has been accused of profiting from the contract, something like £29 million directly to her in an offshore account. She's denied everything. She is currently stepping away from the House of Lords today to clear her name. The vote. Now, my original thinking was this vote wouldn't go through. I don't have what anyone would claim as hope. So I didn't think it's gone through, but everything that I've read from people who know vastly more than I do have said that the Tories have not tried to put in a 3-line whip for it. So if the Tories haven't said, right, you must vote with us, so vote against the Labour vote, if they haven't done that, then the suggestion would be that this will go through without Tories voting, so they will abstain. I do not think you're going to see a raft of Tory MPs voting for or with Labour. They just won't fucking vote. It will go through, and then good. We need more of this because the government is still dragging their feet when it comes to giving the information required for the COVID inquiry. So hopefully this will be a fun little start and an aperitif before we start seeing people actually take responsibility for their actions. This vote will be to make the government release all papers, advice and correspondence involving special advisors, including submissions and electronic communications relating to the contracts to the Public Accounts Committee. So that is emails, text messages, WhatsApp, Snapchat, all of them, everything. All of the information needs to be sent over if they lose. Of course, we're going to probably find out that Miss Mone, and I know it's Baroness, but I'm not calling a single one of these posh fucking dickheads who have got privilege through no effort or anything. I'm not calling them Baroness, I'm not calling them Lord or Sir or His Majesty or anything like that. They are fucking just their name, that's enough. But we'll find out that she's inadvertently lost her phone or something. That's how it normally goes. I mean, what, Boris Johnson lost his phone like 3 times, didn't he? Very cool. We can hear protests behind me, and there are going to be more strikes. Well, no, it's a strike, isn't it? Not a protest. A shelter of striking over pay. 3% rise, if I recall, they were offered. 14.2% interest. It's important to remember the inflation, 14.2% inflation this year, because the RMT have announced extra strike dates between the 24th and the 27th of December, so right in the fucking sweet spot. In the continued row over pay and conditions. The union have urged the workers to reject the latest pay offer of 9%, which is actually 5% this year and 4% next year. The thing is too important to remember with all of this, with all the strikes, the workers lose money because they're not working, and if they're striking, they're not going to be paid for that day. The companies, the actual train companies, don't. They do not lose a penny because we continue as a country to subsidise them. It's one of the major reasons why any form of privatisation is mad as it is, because you look at the contracts and we're subsidising these fuckers to make sure that they never make a loss. It's the perfect contract for them. They can do whatever they want, treat anyone how they want, constantly put up rail fares, leave us with a rail that doesn't work, and they don't lose any money. And they give tons of money to their shareholders. Absolutely fine. They're in for a world, and nothing could be better for them. It's us that gets fucked. Over in Indonesia, their parliament has approved a new criminal code that bans anyone in the country from having sex outside of marriage and restricts political freedoms. We have over half of this world under authoritarian rule. There is a continual argument I see made constantly by very intelligent people who love to say how the world is as good as it's ever been. Everything's fucking fantastic. Look at it. Look at these numbers. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. We don't have time to go into how if you're looking at poverty numbers, you're looking at UN and World Bank numbers, and that's all based on the idea of earning more than, if you're earning more than $1.90 a day, you're not considered in poverty. Which suggests that all the numbers you're looking at with regards to, oh, look at how poverty is doing fantastic, it's bollocks. But we're seeing more and more around the world of this type of backward bullshit. The law will be coming in 3 years. Of course, there will be court challenges. No one's going to allow this stuff just to go through fine. But see, if you're especially in a country that is thinking about bringing in this type of law, how strong is your are your judges going to be? This comes, of course, as a rise of religious conservatism across the Muslim majority country. Religion is bad as a whole. You individually, you want to be religious, that's fine. You want to meet up with your religious friends and all chant or pray or sing hymns or whatever the fuck you want to do, that's fine. The moment it becomes part of society, it is fundamentally bad. There is no positive, absolutely no positive. It does not bring morality. It doesn't, because all you have to do is look around at all the religious countries, from America to fucking the Middle East to Israel. Tell me where the morals are. Tell me where the fucking strength of your gods are. And I will show you your rape, your destruction, your fucking genocides. Absolutely, it's all based on fucking religious dipshittery anyway. Backward fucks. There have been protests mostly by the young in Indonesia. These new laws will also apply to tourists visiting the likes of Bali. So if you are young, dumb, want to go to Bali with your lover to take photos of yourself and put them onto whatever social media thing you take photos of yourself on, don't fuck, because you will be put in prison. You're also banned from living together. Adultery will be an offence. That's not the worst one. There will also be new clauses criminalising immorality and blasphemy, which I would argue that it's immoral to ban blasphemy, but it's always difficult when these religious nut jobs are the ones who are claiming what morality is. And why is it God? They're so weak and feeble. The majority of religions are weak and feeble. So whiny little fucks, unable to take anything. There's snowflakey fuckers. There's also in the clauses restricting political and religious expression, because that's what happens when you believe in a God. You are so scared of someone having a different view, because your God is so strong that if someone says anything against it, he's gonna cry. Your God's a little bitch. The Institute for Public Policy Research and the charity Save the Children have called for universal childcare guarantee for all families until the end of primary school, to allow more women to get back to work and reduce the attainment gap between the rich and poor children in the early years. This is a joint report with Labour. It was revealed that you could increase government revenue and save a family with young children between £620 and £6,175 a year. That is a big fucking difference between those two numbers. There's the type of thing that when you've got such big numbers, I worry if you should take this with enough salt to kill a slug, a big fucking slug, because that's just between 620 and 6,175. Christ, that is a big gap, big difference there. But you could save that with free universal preschool childcare and more funding for after-school clubs. With the raising childcare costs, which have been pushing parents out of work because they can't afford to do that, so they have to be at home to look after their children, and many schools not having the funds or staff to hold breakfast or after-school clubs. Inequality is massive in this country and rising in this country. That's one of the major issues we've got. You will not progress a society, you will not grow an economy with wide inequality, because the rich, they don't pay it. I know they're going, well, you've got 60% of all income tax are coming from the rich, but that's only because the poor are so fucking poor. You shouldn't have such inequality. And if you were to have poor people, even for middle class people, the working class and the middle classes, if they were to grow, get more money behind them, they would spend, because that's what people do. The working class would spend money, put it into the economy would grow. That is not what happens if you've got an unequal society. Because if you have that, the rich, they save, or they buy assets, or they put it all into fucking stocks and shares and just take dividends. They are not putting money into the economy like everyone else would. More strikes happening. Thousands of ambulance workers and NHS staff are to strike on the 21st of December over disputes over pay. So don't travel anywhere, don't get sick, don't get homeless, because all of these things the government should help you with, but they're not going to, and they think everyone else should work longer for nothing. Like a lot of jobs, you may have been in the jobs like it, I know I have, where I've got in trouble in the past. My boss once said to me, The thing is, Ashley, is although you do all of your work, you don't then look for extra work. Or you don't fucking pay me extra to do that. And this is how the government seems to think as well. All these people seem to believe that your time is theirs. That you should do more work for them for nothing. I'm fundamentally against that idea. I don't think you should. I think that you should do the job you're paid for. The idea of doing extra may make you look like a martyr, may make you feel good, rev your engine a bit, but it doesn't help in the long run. Because they'll see that they can get you to do extra for free. A final news story of today, Housing Secretary Michael Gove has abandoned plans for compulsory home building targets after a rebellion from Tory backbenchers. Because why should we require new houses? Everything's fine. It's another reminder, never vote for the Tories. I don't care who else you vote for. Don't vote for the Tories. They fucking hate you, and they are the reason we're in this mess. If you are in the Aldgate area, tomorrow on the 7th is Comedy Under Siege, free comedy night that I run, 5 acts, 15 minutes each, an exceptional fucking comedy night. We've got brilliant acts, and me, which is just a plus. It's at the Castle on Commercial Road. Starts at 7:30. So if you're about, come down. Thanks. Bye.